Have you ever loved someone so much to the point where you were willing to lose yourself just to keep them? Let me tell you something that's really hard to hear. Sometimes holding on to them means letting yourself go. And if you've ever felt like you were drowning, trying to save someone who didn't even notice, this video is for you. You have to love yourself enough to let them go. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? First things first, you need to understand your self-worth. Your value, your worth doesn't come from anywhere exteriorly. It comes from within. You need to understand that if you start holding on to your worth and making it only as valuable as how other people perceive you or the people around you, or more importantly, the person that comes to mind when you think of the beginning of this video, you're going down a slippery slope. Because the moment that the attention and the validation and insert whatever you're craving or desiring from that person starts to dwindle, or it's taken away from you abruptly, you will feel worthless. But that's not the truth. You are absolutely valuable. You are perfect the way that you are, no matter what you have gone through, no matter what you have experienced. But the question is, do you believe it? You need to recognize when holding on actually is hurting you. When you feel drained, when you feel like it's a pain, you need to either let go or shift your energy elsewhere. Understand that relationships, no matter what dynamic it is, family, friends, even intimate relationships, is a two-way street. So you need to be investing in them just as much as they're investing in you. And the moment you feel like you're pouring into a cup that isn't pouring back, you got to cut your losses and let go. And it's hard, but you need to love yourself enough to recognize it and let go. It's not easy, but it absolutely is worth it. Because if it's costing you your peace, then it's way too expensive. Holding on to someone who is not reciprocating the energy that you're putting out is damaging to your mental health, damaging to your peace, damaging to so many levels and layers of yourself. And if you're constantly feeling like you're in this anxious state, then you know it's not serving you. And if it's not serving you, you need to let it go, because it's anchoring you. It's preventing you from being able to move forward and ultimately find peace and happiness. Because at that point, if you're in that predicament, you are looking for peace and happiness in the wrong places. You're looking for it in that person or something that's not within you. That friendship, that validation, that love, that security, all those things I've said in other videos before are things that you can already provide and give to yourself. But if you're seeking it externally, you're not going to find it. And if you do find it, I can promise you it's only going to be temporary, and it'll never be enough because you never gave it to yourself first. So you might be asking yourself, so what do I do now? What do I do next? How do I handle this? You need to detach. You need to separate yourself from the thing that has been draining you, the thing that has been causing you to abandon yourself, the thing that has been making you feel as though the more you hold on to them, the less you recognize who you are, yourself. That's what you need to do. And the moment you start creating space from that thing that has been draining you, you create this safe atmosphere for you to grow, for you to ignite that personal development, for you to find yourself. And in finding yourself, you will find that inner peace, that inner happiness that you thought you were looking for in them, but you had it within you all along. And letting them go is not about giving up. Please don't look at it from that perspective, because it's not that. It's about choosing yourself. It's about showing up for yourself and realizing that you have been neglecting the most important person and thing in your entire life in this season, and that's yourself. Because if you can't be the best version of yourself, if you can't pour into yourself, how do you expect to be able to show up for the people around you to the best of your ability and serve them at the highest of your potential? Yeah, you probably were able to be there for them and maybe save them, but you were neglecting yourself. So ultimately there was this void that was only being filled when that person was in your life. And like I said, that's a slippery slope to go down, because if they are no longer there or they decide to walk away, you will be left in shambles if you aren't already. You will be lost, destroyed, demolished. I've been there before. And that's not a place to be, because then you realize you've been crutching on this person when all along you've had two perfectly fine legs to stand on. But you didn't realize that because you were so focused on the crutch that you've neglected your legs. You need to trust in God's plan. Even when things feel like it's not working in your favor, even when it feels like it's just falling apart, when you feel like you're being destroyed, when you feel like the road that you've been going down is being denied, or the plans that you had in mind are being delayed, you need to trust that all of this is part of your development. Trust in God's timing. I can speak personally from my own life. There's been countless circumstances and situations where I truly desired a particular outcome or a career path or whatever it may be, and it falls apart before my very eyes, and I'm disappointed. But I keep moving forward because I trust in God's plan, and ultimately His plan is revealed to me. Same thing with you. I don't know what you're experiencing or what you're going through. Understand that you need to make the harder decisions so that you can have an easier life, and trust that wherever you feel drawn to, take that leap of faith. Because if the thing that you have your eyes on and focusing on isn't working, and you feel like you're forcing it, you feel like you're just like putting so much energy towards it just for it to kind of barely even move in the direction or get the results that you want, maybe that's your sign to let go and let God put in the work. Let God move the pieces, maybe add the missing pieces. Because sometimes if you hold on to something so much, it ends up perpetuating and delaying your blessings. Because oftentimes you have to allow things to get removed out of your life so that better things can fall into place. And those might very well be those roadblocks that are keeping you from being where God ultimately envisions for you to be. Romans 8 verse 28 says, "And we know in all things God works for the good of those who love Him and have been called according to His purpose." Put your trust in God, put your faith in God, because all things will work in your favor, especially when you trust and love Him. Romans 8 verse 28 tells us that. So let's do it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Not only do you need to love yourself enough to walk away, but you need to love yourself enough to walk away with grace. Because it's easy to walk away from a circumstance and realizing it is for what it is, that it's draining you and this person was maybe taking advantage of you or just didn't know how to love you correctly. And it's easy for us as humans to have resentment or hate towards something or someone that we've invested so much time in and wasted time in, or we feel as though we wasted time in, and we start hating. But walking away doesn't mean that it failed. It means that you're strong enough to walk away. It's a sign of strength. But it's also easy to try to replace the love you once had with hate because it makes it easier to let go. But ultimately, you're holding on to that hate, which is going to delay you from growing and moving forward. It might feel easy in the beginning, but eventually that resentment works as a poison within you. It's not good. So instead of choosing chaos, choose peace. Instead of choosing hate, choose love. Instead of resentment, have grace and forgiveness. That actually requires more strength from you in order to do it. Listen, heartbreak isn't easy. I've been there before, and I'm sure you have too. The first one is hard, but the third and fourth one is just as hard. Doesn't matter how many heartbreaks you've been through, whether it's your first one, your third one, your fifth one. Heartbreak is heartbreak, loss is loss, and the grieving sucks. So you're not alone in that. That being said, men, if you're struggling to heal, you're looking for direction, stability, guidance, structure, and being surrounded by like-minded men on a similar journey and path, click on the link in the description, join our school community, and I would love to see you there. Without further ado, I just want to say thank you so much, everyone, for just watching the video, for just being here on this overall journey and this long-form journey that I've embarked on. Comment below, share your story, share where you're at, share your favorite takeaways from this. And I appreciate you. Comment, like, subscribe. Peace from D's.